Alright, so
let's have a conversation.
Undertale. Just saying the word Undertale triggers some people into infinity. When you say the word Undertale on the internet, it has a different effect based on the person that you're talking to. Some good, some bad, and some, hey best friend of 10 years, how are you? I'm good, best friend of 10 years. I'm just very excited about the news I heard the other day. Oh yeah? And what news would that be, best friend of 10 years? You didn't hear? Undertale was announced for Nintendo Switch. I love Undertale. Did you just say you love Undertale? Yes, I did, best friend of 10 years. Well, best friend of 10 years, I hate to tell you this, but I hate Undertale. It's wild out here. There are some people who hate Undertale so much. I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe. I just don't know where all the hatred's coming from. I mean, the guy Toby Fox who makes the game seems to be like a cool guy. I played the game. I personally love the game. So I don't get all the hate. I get some of it, but some of it I don't. So I asked you guys on Twitter, I said, do you hate or love Undertale? In a tweet, explain why or why not. Your answer might show up in tomorrow's video. And just by looking at the poll, it hasn't finished, but at the point in time where I'm reading this, it says that 80% of you guys, which is roughly 4 out of 5 of you guys, love Undertale, and the other 1/5 of you guys, 20%, hate it. So this is what I'm gonna do, okay? There's like 3,240 votes. While I'm looking at it, not even 14 hours left, and there's like 400 comments, over 400 comments. So I'm gonna just read a couple of them, see what you guys have to say, and then I'm gonna wrap it up and summarize, and y'all know how this works. So at The Sir Toasty says, love it. No other game lets me just lie down and feel like trash for as long as I want, and for that reason alone, I think it's truly something special. Cool, cool. Feeling like trash is cool. So my boy Lithero said shit was godlike. My little sis was brought to tears over Sans giving her one last chance and took it. Then immediately screamed bloody murder after getting dumped. I've never seen any other game play people like that before, and it continues to do so from the look of these comments. So I 100% agree with it. Like, this game plays you. Like, when you're playing Undertale, sometimes it feels like Undertale is playing you, because Undertale is so self-aware of what it is and who you are as a user that sometimes you get kind of confused what's even going on, you know? You got all these goofy characters going around and you're playing this game, you're like la 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 la, and then the game just switches over and says,
You've made these choices. These are the consequences. What are you going to do about it? What does this mean about you? What does this say about you?
And you're like,
holy shit, like, is this the self-evaluation game?
Like, it kind of makes you question sometimes, like, what is going on? And that is like the feel that you just don't get in any other video game. So at Corruption SSB says, it's honestly a good game and a good story. If you ignore the community, also, there is little to nothing wrong with the actual game. What I'm reading here, and this is what I'm reading from a lot of comments here, is that a lot of people really enjoy the game. However, the aspect of the community behind it somehow ruins the game for people. I always find that kind of confusing, you know, like when you're playing Undertale, it's a single player game, you know, you go into it and you kind of enjoy it for yourself and you experience it for yourself, you know? So like, why does the community of people who either support or don't support the game affect how you like the game, you know? Like, just you separately, like your relationship with the game, you know? How does this community impact that, you know? Like, if I'm playing a good game, and I love the game, and it's amazing, and somebody was like really annoying, and he was just like, they were part of the community that also supported the game, I'd be like, you guys are annoying, but it also has no impact on how much I just love the game personally one-on-one. So I always thought that was kind of confusing. So LTrash02 says, the story being told with gameplay and a soundtrack to complement. It isn't some kind of perfect, flawless game, but the way the memorable characters pull me in, experiencing the different environments in the underground and how Undertale builds its world is fascinating in my opinion. I 100% agree with that. Like, I don't think Undertale is like some kind of perfect, all-beam game that accomplishes everything in every way that a game can be made. But I do think the game is made in a way to kind of pull you into it, into its world, and that world is something that you didn't see in many other games that you play. There's not many games like Undertale, in my opinion, that absorb you so much into the concept of this world that it creates this fan base that likes to create all these theories and conclusions and stuff. Like, I think the death of Undertale and its story is what creates the fan base in itself. So what Riptide AC says, Undertale is a great game with a bad fan base. Its music, story, options, characters, and humor make for a great experience. In many ways, it makes fun of the common tropes of other RPGs, which always makes me laugh. The different routes give the game an amount of replayability. So pretty much just a general review of it, saying that it's an all-around good game, which I agree with. All around, the game isn't terrible. It's a pretty good game. I think a lot of people agree with that concept. So at Mr. Burns CJ says, the community ruined it for me. I got sick and tired of people always trying to get me to play it, so that kind of soured my experience. And when I told people that I didn't like it, I was insulted left and right and center. Because of that, I don't like Undertale. Okay, this is the comment that I want to talk to you guys about, okay? So, okay, I get this, okay? Let's say there is a food, you know, that everyone likes to eat, and everyone's like saying,
Steven, you haven't eaten this food yet?
I'm like,
Nah, it doesn't seem that appealing to me, you know?
Try it, Steven. It's good. You really need to try this food.
and eventually I'm just like,
Fine, I'll try it. I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. I don't really like the taste.
and then people get angry at me for liking the food. I can understand why I would be frustrated about that happening. But like, I wouldn't be frustrated at the food, you know? I wouldn't be like,
I hate this food. Because this food created all these people who do this.
you know, I would be annoyed with the food ain't do nothing. Like, Undertale didn't do anything. Toby Fox just made a game and said, I hope y'all like it, you know? It's just the people reacted to the game in a certain way and created some craziness. So why blame Undertale and hate Undertale, the game itself, for the people and how they reacted to it, you know what I mean? So at technical difficulty said, if I had to choose, I really like the game, but I think it's very overhyped. I understand that. So there's also the concept where people say that Undertale is overrated because Undertale has so many fanboys that put this game on this platform that exists, you know, above all others. I'm kind of one of those fanboys. Like, I do put Undertale on a pedestal just because, again, the effect that it had on me makes me feel like this game is way better than others. But this is me being emotionally attached to the game, you know? I'm placing it up here and not, you know, thinking about the fact that there's some people who just don't like the aspects of the game. Some people don't like the graphics, some people think it's boring, some people think it's corny, some people don't think it's funny. It's just not a good game for them all around. So, I don't know, I guess because I put it on this realm that's untouchable, for them, they find that annoying because they don't identify with that untouchable. Okay, here's an interesting one. Somebody says they hate it. Although the game sports some fantastic characters, art, and music, the tedium it takes to get to the fun parts of the game really turned me off. It has a serious issue of sacrificing gameplay for the sake of theming. Examples include Alphys and the entire genocide route. So okay, I see your point. Bowser's Swole AF is he's basically saying that the game was sacrificing gameplay in order to create the story, which the game was mainly, a big ass story. And there were times where you would just be watching Undertale instead of playing Undertale. And so I would say, yeah, I understand that. If you're not really into, you know, storyline games that are based on that and have less gameplay because of that, then I can see you being frustrated with the game. So okay, this is the last one. And Archermano says, kinda hate it. It's a play once, never again type of game. The game is too easy if you replay it. Save, Genocide, Undying, and Sans, the monsters never pose a challenge. Hard mode is incomplete, so it'd be awesome if we had hard mode for Switch. I want every fight to take a level of skill. Archimoto's issue is that the game wasn't hard. Outside of, like, you know, some of the bosses that were really hard to face, which are actually some of the hardest bosses that you'll probably face in any video game, there wasn't enough of that. I feel like, I don't know. So in my opinion, it's kind of confusing to me. On one hand, you have Sans, you have Undyne, you have Asco, you have all of these guys that you have to face, and I've seen people die over and over playing these guys. And yet you have some of the bosses are kind of easy, and I feel like in the end, that kind of meshes in well. Like, you have the level of difficulty combined with the level of, like, okay, I can get through this kind of thing. And I don't know. I feel like a game where you have the hardest boss probably and bosses to fight in terms of skill-wise, and then saying that there's not enough difficulty is kind of, I don't know, opposite. I feel like in RPGs, there is a level of just grinding. Like, not every monster that you face, every single encounter is not going to be this, oh my gosh, that was a challenge and I defeated him. No, it's an RPG. You grind. You play Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you just grind through all these monsters until you get a boss. And usually the bosses aren't even that hard either, unless you're just overleveled. And if you are overleveled, you go and grind a little bit more and now you're strong. You know, it's like, I'm just kind of confused about the level of wanting this hard difficulty at all time. So, you know. So I'm gonna start with the comments. Okay, here's the TLDR of it. It sounds like People love the game. Most people, 80% of the people plus, like Undertale. They love it. However, a lot of people hate the toxic community that goes behind it. And I'm guessing this is, again, the vocal minority of people who say, hey, play the game this way, or hey, if you don't like this game, you're trash, or something like that. And I understand and I empathize with how you guys feel. I feel like things that are good, they get too good, too fast, and they become too popular, suddenly create this fan base of, hey, if you're not on board this ship, then get the hell off the ship. And when you just want to play video games and kind of just accept it for what it is, and you have to keep being berated for it, I get that the focus and the hate ends up becoming for the game in itself. You're like, this is a stupid ass game because it creates all these stupid ass people. But it's not the game creating the people. It's the people reacting to the game. The game in itself has done nothing wrong, but people will always manage to find a way to be stupid as fuck. That's just how life goes. And let's talk about the Undertale community for a second. Like, is it really that toxic? Like, yes, there are bad apples. There are people who are way too infatuated about it that give a very negative light about the game. But for the most part, like, I'm on the Undertale Reddit, and when I watch the Reddit, I see people, you know, looking into all the endings and trying to decipher this and doing memes that and just having fun with the game. Like, for the most part, I see a bunch of people who love the game so much that they want to continue creating, expanding, and talking about it, absorbing as much as possible because they don't want the feeling of Undertale to go away. I would say to just take the game for what it is. And if you love it, then love it. And if you hate it, then hate it. If you kind of like it, then you can kind of like it. And if you kind of dislike it, then it is what it is. But don't be fooled by the vocal minority of the toxic Undertale base. That does not stand for the majority of the people are out there. I'm telling you, the way that it works, and this goes for everything, there is such a huge silent majority of people who love the game and don't say shit, you know? Like you guys watching this video right now, there's a large majority of you who just come in, you watch, and you liked it, and you dip, you know? You don't leave a like, you don't comment and say, hey, I like this video. You just say, I like this video, and you're just gone. You don't say nothing, you just say it to yourself and you're out. But when people like dislike something or when they hate something, for them, they have to let other people know. They have to be like, okay, I hate this, and I need the entire world to know why I hate it. And you get a whole bunch of these stupid buffoons going around messing everything up for everyone while you have all these silent guys like, yeah, I'm having a good time, you know? Anyway, that's all I have this video. I think I pretty much get why so many people dislike Undertale. Even though the majority love it, they just dislike the vocal minority. Don't get played by them, okay? They're a smaller group, okay? They're a small percentage. Don't let it define the base. But I didn't get a chance to talk to all of you guys about it. So look, let me know in the comments below, do you like Undertale and do you not? And let me know. I will be reading the responses. I'll be reading it like a hawk because again, Undertale is one of my favorite games. And I like to see people psych about it, why they enjoyed it and why they didn't like it. And Undertale as one of the most huge fan bases in gaming that is just infamous for having such a toxic one, that I just really want to get to understand how you guys all feel about it. Do me a favor, if you enjoyed the video, like it. If you haven't subscribed already, I'm hyped for Undertale on Nintendo Switch. I want Undertale everywhere, but I want Undertale too, okay? I want a sequel. I want more Sans. I want more Papyrus. I want a game that evolves on some of the mistakes that people say that the game has. I want an Undertale 2.0 that just improves on what was on before. And I know a lot of you out there want it too, even those of you who hate it. If they made Undertale 2 in a way that improved on the aspects that you hated about it, there is a good chance that you will like it. So I don't know, that's just me. Toby, make it happen, bruh. Watch this video, make it happen, bruh. Switch, Undertale 2.0, let's go. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching, have an awesome